Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to what Mitch McConnell said. He said that, he pretty much said that he doesn't see why reparations is necessary for something that happened 150 years ago. Now, this article came out June 21st, 2019 from The Guardian. And these are Native Indians that want an apology from California for something that happened 169 years ago. So, Mitch McConnell, do you think you should be acknowledging something from 169 years ago? This was 1850. And they are still raising the issue about something from 169 years ago. So, based on what you said to African Americans, these Native Indians should not even be bringing this up from 169 years ago, right? This is all stolen land. Native Indians want more than California's apology. They want restitution, ladies and gentlemen. And look at all of these people in the picture. They weren't alive in 1850, but they still want restitution for that time period. Actually, their reparations go way back to the 1830s. Predates 150 years ago, doesn't it? California's governor made history this week when he formally apologized to Native Americans, acknowledging the brutal genocide and war of extermination declared by the state's first governor in 1851. While indigenous people across California welcomed the long overdue statement, many had a similar response. Now what? So, in other words, they want more than just an apology, which means they want reparations, right? Okay, let's go on. An apology is great, but what does it look like in terms of moving into action? Said Morningstar Gali, a member of the Pitt River tribe in Northern California. We're still here. We're still fighting for recognition. We're fighting for the protection of our sacred places. We're fighting for visibility. Okay. So, white people, they are fighting for something that happened 169 years ago. Some Native American leaders and activists are now pushing for Governor Gavin Newsom apology to lead to a serious discussion about reparations for indigenous people. Now, they've already gotten quite a few reparations, ladies and gentlemen, but these Indians are talking more reparations, echoing the debate in Congress this week about reparations for Black Americans. Indigenous groups argue that government should compensate Native Americans for harms, some of which continue today. Doesn't that sound familiar, y'all? Because harm is still being done to the Black community even to this day. The state of California indigenous leaders told The Guardian should be looking at land and water rights, education, cultural rivals, criminal justice, and more. Returning stolen land. Violence against Native Americans in California took place much more recently than in older American states on the East Coast. In 1850, the state passed a law to remove Native Americans from their lands, separate children from their families, and strip people of their cultures and languages, and create a system of indentured servitude, Newsom said. Now, why do you think this governor has come out and apologized, but he hasn't apologized to the Black citizens? Now, I'm not saying I want an apology because I really truly don't, but I just want you to see how he had no problem coming out and acknowledge these Native Americans at all. But as soon as you say Black people, African Americans, all of a sudden they got a problem with everything. And this, ladies and gentlemen, predates the reparations that we're asking for. I thought it was all about time, and it was a long time ago. So is 160 years a long time ago? Is that a long time ago, y'all? 150 years is a long time ago, but 169 years, you don't hear a peep out of it. In fact, the governor is coming forward and apologizing for something that happened 169 years ago, y'all. But if we want something for ourselves, for slavery, it was a long time ago. This is why I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, when they talk about time, go back. The Native Americans are a perfect example of them going way back in time to pay reparations to these Indians today. Now, did you hear this governor say, no, we can't do that? No, we don't have the money. You Native Americans need to get over it. That was a long time ago. He's not saying any of those things to these folks, is he? He's not saying any of those things. In the following decade, California leaders organized and funded militia campaigns against indigenous people, creating what one historian recently called a state-sponsored killing machine. Exactly. That's what the police force is. They don't come and help us. That's all they are. Today, there are more than 100 federally recognized tribes in California and many more that are unrecognized. More than 700,000 Native people live in the state. Restoring indigenous land rights would be one of the most direct and meaningful ways to right these wrongs, Native leaders said. I'm looking at this whole article, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see none of the talking points that they use on us. I don't see none of it. I don't even see Mitch McConnell putting his big mouth in on this one. Nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let it be very clear that the reparation sentiment is just towards Black people only. They don't have that same type of disdain for any other group. It's just us, exclusively us. And I'm loving what's going on out here because we are now exposing the Democratic Party. We already know about the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party have been covert for a long time, and we're really forcing them from out of the shadows into the light, and we're seeing them for what they are. Now, you know what this article is lacking? Any Democratic candidate coming forward and shucking and jiving to the Native American people on this. You don't see any of them laughing at the fact that these natives want restitution for something that happened in 1850. You don't see the same people coming forward and telling them, we need to do a study on this, or give the version of HR 40 for Native Americans. You don't see any of those things happening, and you won't. This is why you must follow these type of stories so that you can quash what these people are saying. They don't have a leg to stand on with those arguments that they come up with. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.